Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. 60 minutes of football fun and banter with Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV. Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble.
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow and join in now.
This is your host, Chris.
No! God, please, no! No!
I know, I'm sorry, but he's cheap and available.
How rude.
Right, Chris.
Good evening, how the devil are we all? It is match week 20 and this is the preview and prediction show, and well, preview and prediction, Leicester are going to lose. Good night.
That's all, folks.
Thanks for watching Leicester.
I jest, of course, but it feels like that at the moment. It feels like that. Anthony's in, his team's winning. And he had a good week last week, but I think Brad's got something to say to you, Anthony. He said it's great being on last week with Steve, so he didn't like being on with me. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. You joke. Look, he didn't come in last week. He was doing other things. Bless him. He's back. It's Brad. Brad, good evening, sir. How the devil are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing very, very well. Anthony's saying here, Brad, you got some good points this week, the most you've ever scored, I think.
Yeah, but you still couldn't beat Chris. You didn't tell me that part, did you, with your big points? No, well done, mate. Well done.
Shane is in. Anthony is also in. Good evening to you both. And of course, he's in. It's Steve. Good evening, sir. How the devil are you?
Fine, thanks, mate. Sorry, I was in trouble with my phone, so I couldn't get in earlier.
No. That is fine. That is fine. And we know, you know, sometimes you're working late and what have you. So, you had a good week.
Yeah, so, mate, worked to death.
Well, always. West Brom are winning tonight.
I know, that's a shock.
Yeah, almost as much as a shock as Wigan winning. Sorry if any Colo Tory fans are in. Brad, Anthony says, was that you in Cornwall?
It might have been. I don't remember agreeing to the video.
Oh, you don't know who's videoing you. But Ted, quick shout out where people can find you, sir.
You can find me on Twitter. Best place to get hold of me. My Twitter handle's @fulltimefocus. And if you like top 10 videos, stuff like that, then check me out on YouTube. The link's on my Twitter, so you can click it there. But it's top 10 battles. And yeah, I'm also running a football quiz inside that. So if you like quizzes and you like football, go and check it out, because that's what I was busy doing on a Wednesday when I had Anthony had to step in for me.
Indeed. And if you like quizzes where the quiz master hasn't got the answers prepared, Brad's your man.
I am.
Hey. And Steve, of course, we swear every week, but end of the month, you've got your own clothing range coming out.
Yep, looking forward to it. So hopefully things, touch wood, will go nice.
Yeah, Foxy 7.
Foxy 7, yeah, Foxy 7 clothing.
Indeed. What range have you got? Or
Oh,
you
we've
planning to do?
got a lot of range. Ladies, women's, kiddies, men's. It's for everybody. It's not just sports people. You know.
There you go, Anthony. He's doing ladies' wear. You'd be all right. That was for Anthony Herber, by the way, not for Anthony Jadweski.
Oh, right, okay.
Should point out before the other Anthony. Oh, I can't have two Anthonys in the chat. I'm going to get well confused. But hey, look, it is the prediction show, and I have got to mention last week because Ant was getting very, very hyper about the fact that he got a lot of results right. But as you quite rightly said, Brad, he still didn't win. He came second, but, well, Steve, I was going to say it was a good week all round, but I'm not sure.
I'm sure you're sticking the wrong ones down for me. I'm sure you are.
Oh, watch them back. It'll help with my watch hours as well. But play them back and just check.
I'm going to take a photo of them today.
We all got Fulham to beat Chelsea. We all got the score right. Villa beating Leeds, we all went for. United to beat City. That was where you started to go wrong for you, Steve. And again with Brighton and Liverpool, although they are winning tonight 1-0. West Brom just gone 2-0 up against Chesterfield in the Cup. Everton, Southampton, none of us saw that coming, or Forest beating Leicester for that matter. Although I think we probably did see it coming, Brad. We just didn't want to admit it, did we?
Yeah, I'm afraid.
Wolves beating West Ham was another one we didn't see. We all guessed Brentford to beat Bournemouth. You got one right, we didn't, Steve. Chelsea beating Palace.
Yeah, fair play.
Newcastle, Fulham, we all went right with that one, but just didn't get the score right. And Spurs, Arsenal, well, even the Arsenal fan didn't think that the Arsenal would win. But the bloody Arsenal, they could have conceded one, so they got an extra couple of points. Typical bloody Arsenal. Never do what you expect them to do. But these are this week's games. That we're going to be looking at. We've got a couple of extra ones. Tomorrow night, Palace, Man United. Thursday, Man City, Spurs. Liverpool, Chelsea on Saturday, along with Bournemouth, Forest. Leicester host Brighton, God help us. Southampton, Aston Villa. West Ham, Everton. Wow, that is a real 6-pointer. Palace, Newcastle is in there. And then on the Sunday, Leeds, Brentford, City, Wolves, and Arsenal, Man United. Anthony's just saying he had Southampton to win. No, I'd got you down as Everton to win, mate. I'd got you down as Everton to win. We'll go back and check that, but he's a typical Arsenal bad loser. Bad loser. Nippon's in. Good evening, Nippon. How are you? I hope you are well, sir. Don't know what's happening with Chelsea this season, but I was just showing this to you, Brad, before we came live. When we look at the form and we can say, well, they've won, 2 of the last 6 or whatever. We've only played 4 games since we've come back. And this is the bottom of the form table, which I will bring up here. There we go. Since the World Cup, Bournemouth are bottom. Leicester are 19th. We are literally 2 goals better off than Bournemouth, who are bottom with no points. West Ham, Everton, Leeds, Palace, Southampton, all above us. I mean, Steve, Time's got to be running out, hasn't it?
Well, I've heard a lot and I've seen a lot about the Leicester thing, and you know, the players that we were praising last year or the year before are the same players, and I feel because there's so many of them underperforming, I don't think we can carry on blaming Rodgers to a certain extent. I think they got to start looking at themselves. It's just that there's no passion. There's no passion. There's no leadership. You don't see anybody falling out with each other. You don't see anybody kicking anybody up in the air. The fans just want to see passion. Like I said, last week or the week before, if you give everything and you lose, they can put up with that. But if you're turning up every week and you're not doing it every week, you can't keep blaming Rodgers. You've got to start saying, hang on a minute, you've got to start looking at the players and find out why they're not doing it. Because, it's there for everyone to see. There's no passion right the way through the team, from the goalkeeper right through to the striker.
Brad, I mean, I understand that, but I put a poll out earlier on who's to blame for the current situation. The players, the manager, or top on the board. 32% said it was Brendan, 26% said it was the players, and 42% said it was top on the board. I'm sure that will change as it goes through the weekend, but it's still, to me, on whose door does it say manager? If the players aren't playing, if they're not motivated, whose job is it to motivate them?
The problem is Leicester in that part that is for other teams when they go through a transitional period, because people are panicking as well. Is not made easier when you look at the fact that throughout that team there was a lot of uncertainty about their futures, let alone anything else. We've got eight players that, whether they're supposed to be only squad and rotation players or are meant to actually be in the starting 11, we'll never find out because they're always injured all the time and having to play. But we've now got to that point where 4 or 5 of them players are cottoned on, that they've kind of been kept around because they're only needed now. But the feeling they're getting is as soon as so and so and so and so is fit, they'll be back on the bench, aren't bothering with new contracts for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I feel like the glam at Leicester has worn off, and now these players are saying, well, yeah, but if I do sign another 2-year contract or a 3-year deal, you're probably trying to sell me in the summer. And I don't want to be used like that. So I want to be able to play football. And if I can do that next summer guaranteed by running down my contract, then I want stability. I want something more than just the wage you're trying to offer me. And people might say it's an excuse, but these players that's what they're entitled to do.
Players will sit on the bench at Manchester City because of the money, but they won't sit on the bench necessarily at Leicester, Steve. But again, surely, if it's a very good point that Brad's making, and if those players feel underappreciated, again, that's down to one person, isn't it?
That's a good point. Yeah, if you have got a squad of 26 players, you've got to use the 26 players. You've got to make them feel, and I think, you've got to be like that, because the players who are not playing, I was in the same boat sometimes in my career, that you have to dangle a carrot. You have to, there has to be something there for you. And if there's nothing there for you, you will gladly, under the modern times, just sit there and get you whatever it is, 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand a week. But that's another thing, I think it's starting to get out of hand now with the money. And, if I wanted to buy a house, they wouldn't let me have a £3 million house if I'm only earning 20, 30 grand a year. And I think now the way people are, expecting clubs to throw millions and millions, it's only the people, who's got billions that can do it, but they won't do it all the time. And you can't keep having to go at the Leicester board because they have pumped in loads and loads and loads of money. and you can't keep that tap running. You can't. You have to sometimes say put the brakes on because they don't get big crowds, and
No.
they're not getting the money they were last time because they're not up towards the top of the league. So there's got to be a bit of patience showed somewhere,
Yeah.
and to move on.
I mean, Brad, it's another good point that Steve makes there. The board have obviously, back the club and back the managers that have been in with signings, whether they've been good or bad. But again, it's the board that offers contracts out. And, as Andrew said there, we've got players that are on £100,000 a week that in reality are probably only £50,000 a week players.
But the problem is you have to remember every club that tries to make this transition from the club that to not allowed to hang with the big boys and not allowed in the VIP section in Sky and BT and all that, have to muscle their way in. It's all right saying, oh, well, these players aren't worth $100,000 a week. I'm not saying that they are. There's certainly some I'd look at and go, even in the world of football, I'm looking at them earning that and thinking, okay, we're not. But we were also Leicester that were suddenly out of nowhere. Any wrestling fans, like an RKO from Randy Orton, we came out of absolute nowhere and suddenly we were competing at the highest level in the Champions League. We were getting far and even sometimes winning silverware with the FA Cup. And all of a sudden, Leicester were maybe compensating and getting rewarded for their scouting that they were able to afford to kind of push the boat and try and spend 80k, 100k a week, like these Chelsea's, Liverpool's, especially Man City's and Newcastle's now are doing. It was a little taster for us. And you also have to remember that where these clubs went through their downfall, we were all taking the piss. I know it's still happening at Spurs, which is great. At least one club's sticking true to be a Banter FC. But look where Arsenal have got that journey from. They couldn't spend for a lot of transfer windows because they concentrated on the infrastructure, whether that was moving stadium for these two clubs that I mentioned, because obviously they're far richer and can do that more, but they went through that transition period. I think Leicester are just suffering from it now. That's why these players had the wages they were on, because Leicester went, got to convince the player, haven't you, at the end of the day? We were still seen as a little Leicester, despite what we were doing. So some players maybe needed their agent talking to. It's a whole different game, like Steve says, from when he was actually kicking the ball. There was a bit more decency and honesty about what they wanted and paid and lived on. Now it's just like, well, actually, Leicester might be better because they want to pay me £1 million just to sit down and get you here. And Chelsea only want to pay me 300 grand. It's semantics as well that go into the games for contract talks.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, we could talk about Leicester all night, and let's be honest with you, we're
doing a prediction show.
I'm going to say we will, but no. It's good to talk, as somebody says.
Yeah, it's nice,
but it's a case of
another thing as well, mate. Is look at Brentford, look at Fulham.
Yeah,
they're not throwing the money about, but look how they're playing this year. So
but then you just wonder with Brentford. Yeah,
I'm going to say with Brentford and Fulham, they are 3-4 years behind us. Fulham are probably even further behind us in the scheme of things, and it's their first season up, Fulham. And I was on a show earlier on Jack's channel, and I said it'd be interesting to see how the likes of Fulham get on, because this season's been almost perfect for clubs like Fulham, like Brighton, because they had the start, then they had a nice little break for the World Cup, and now they've come back and they've carried on where they left off. Let's see how these clubs do, especially like the Fulhams, when they've got 19 games now every single week, and see whether, how they do with injuries, if they've got the big squads to compete. But look, that's what we're here to predict, Steve. That is what we are here to predict. And the first game up, well, what can I say? Straight into one of your favourite teams. Anthony says VAR says Brad is going to get 5 points this weekend. What I'm going to do, Anthony, you put your votes in, your score predictions in, and we'll see how you do against Brad. We'll have a little separate competition this week. Brad versus his apprentice. So,
Can you get him to do mine as well?
no, because I'm quite happy that you're where you are. You're the only one that's making me look good. But Anthony, you're fired. Right, let's have a go at this. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but let's just see. We've got some information up here. Let me realise that I've not actually got the right one up, first of all. Crystal Palace, Manchester United. I did have the right one up. That's the first game. Wednesday, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kickoff on the TV. Facts there, Man United have won their last 5 matches. There have been over 2.5 goals scored in 5 out of Man United's last 6 Premier League games. And Crystal Palace have seen under 2.5 goals in their last 3 home matches. 5 goals that you can see there for Palace in these meetings, 7 for United. United won the meeting back in July 3-1. But Palace beat Manchester United before that. But you got to say Manchester United, Steve, are on a great run at the moment with everything that's going on at the club.
Yeah, I was one of their biggest critics last year, saying that they were all playing like individuals. But now he's got them firing on all cylinders. They're starting to play like the old Man United and playing as a team. But I just think that Crystal Palace need to revise all the rules in the book now and find out what's offside, what's not offside, because you're getting to the point where I don't think anybody knows what offside or whatever is now. But going back to Man United, I can see them winning this easily. The way they're playing at the moment, they're getting goals from all over the pitch. They're looking sharper. I think with the midfield and the forwards playing so well, it's taking the pressure off the back four, and it's making the back four look good. But if Palace do what they usually do, a counter attack, they might get a goal or two. But I can see Man United winning this 3-0.
3-0 to Man United. Looking at the form there, Brad, and I've been impressed with Man United this season. I don't think they will go ahead and win it, but I didn't think they'd be doing as well because of it being the transition season for them. Ten Hag coming in and having to put his own stamp on the club. I thought this would be more sort of next season for them, but you've got to say what he is doing. He's doing well. They've won the last 5 games, and do you know what? Ronaldo was getting rid of him maybe a master. Well, not obviously they hadn't necessarily planned it, but could that really have turned their season round now they've got rid of him?
Oh, it definitely has. And let's face it, Ronaldo's been destructive, not just on the pitch, unfortunately, off the pitch for the last 3-4 years. He's one of them where you look at and go, yeah, he might have scored a load of goals, but unfortunately for the rest of his teammates, Ronaldo sees himself and the other 10 made up of his ego when he's on the pitch. It was the best decision he made. It's almost like they needed a competent manager that had a backbone to kind of go, right, off you go, Dan. Kick the drama out the door.
Yeah.
And it's worked wonders for him. He obviously has the respect for the players, because I think if anyone else had fumbled it over the line to get Ronaldo out of the club, they could have done it embarrassingly and got it wrong. And I think it's clearly worked in the favour. Look at their form. I think under any other manager over in recent years, we'd be looking at maybe Palace nicking this. But I'm with Steve on this, and I'm matching them for the score as well. I can't see anything other than a big result from Manchester United. I mean, the good news for Palace fans is it's a bit more exciting football under Vieira. The bad news for Palace fans is it's still Crystal Palace that play it, because they look like a team that's set for 14th already.
It looks like they've got a new manager in, spent a bit of money to basically stay where they were.
Yeah.
I mean, Edward, maybe we got away with one there because we were linked with him, weren't we?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but then you could argue that, Rodgers loves playing one up front instead of using all the best out of two strikers. So maybe he had one on his own. You don't know what he might have done at Leicester. He might have fitted right in with our goal scoring this season. But yeah, I don't think he'd have done much worse.
No. Luton have just equalised against Wigan. You can see that coming. So what score did you go for, Brad?
I'd say with Steve, I'm going 3-0. Man United.
I mean, for me, it was a huge statement when they beat City at the weekend. I mean, it was a real derby weekend, 3 derbies. They got walloped earlier in the season. I think that they conceded 6 United. But yeah, I mean, and I think it probably says a little bit more about Manchester City than it does Manchester United. Like Steve said, the equalising goal, you could argue whether it was or it wasn't. Was he interfering with play? I think most fans would turn around and say, how the hell was he not interfering with play? I would, but let's face it, if that was Leicester, we'd be saying, no, it wasn't. Definitely wasn't play. It was a goal. So, got to go. You get fair play to them. I can't see Palace getting anything here at all, like you said. And I'm going to go... I want to be different to you, but can I see United scoring 4 goals? You know what? Yes, I'm going to go 4-0. I'm going to go.
Got
4.
him, Steve.
I think
Got him.
It was 4 or 2. It was 4 or 2, and I thought, bugger it, this is Palace, Anthony has gone 2-0, so he has gone the other way. Maybe that I should have gone for 2-0 maybe and agreed because Anthony did well last week. Andrew's gone 3-0 United. Shane has gone 2-0 United. Palace away should be 2-0 United, who will beat them on this form. Nippons then, where is that? Yeah, I think David's answered you then. And he's gone 4-2 to Manchester United. A goal fest there for Nippon. Right, so that was our first game, which is tomorrow night, like I say, as you can see there, at 8 o'clock. And it is on TV. On Thursday, we've got Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur, again on telly. These are games obviously that were cancelled pre-World Cup. 8 o'clock kickoff. Steve, I mean, Tottenham there, as you can see, Man City have seen 2.5 goals in 12 of their last 14 home matches. Tottenham have conceded at least 2 goals in 8 of their last 9 matches. When you look at it there, like I say, 6 goals scored by Man City, 8 by Tottenham. Tottenham won this earlier in the season, well, back in February. That was last season. Sorry, Tottenham, they beat Man City 3-2. Tottenham beat Man City 1-0. So the last couple of games have gone Spurs way. Before that, they went Man City way. 2 out of form teams, though, Steve.
Well, for the one, I'm glad, that they're out of form because they deserve it every week. But I think with City, I think a lot of clubs are getting to know how City play. City won't change the way they play. But all I can say about City is they need to do it faster. They're passing the ball around in front of teams, and they're not getting the penetration like they used to before. So I think they need to just carry on what they're doing, but do it at a faster pace, and then just rattle Tottenham. You've only got to start niggling at Tottenham, and their game goes completely. You saw it at Arsenal. You saw it again every week. As soon as the decisions go against them, there's 10 players around the referee. So if Man City can play a bit nastier in their play, rattle a bit, I can see they still being 3-0.
And your score prediction?
3-0 to Man City.
3-0. Oh, 3-0 Man City. Right. Brad, you can see there. I mean, of this fixture, the last 6 meetings, 67% of it has gone Tottenham's way with 4 victories.
Yeah, they've been somewhat of a bogey team for Man City. I do find it ironic that a team that had no out-and-out striker the season before, everybody thought that was strange and that was going to cost them the league and end up winning the league. And now they've become a team that's so heavily reliant on their striker that it's starting to affect the rest of them because they've been dropping points nearly as casually as Liverpool in recent run of form. So that's a scary way to drop points this season. We'll get onto them. But I tell you what, I know they're the bogey team, but the way Spurs are playing at the moment, this is the sort of tonic you need if you're Man City. Because if you're ever going to get something on track and get something going, this is the Spurs side you want to be playing. Because Spurs fans are all saying it. They're back to their awful ways with Conte and everything that's gone on at their club. I'm going to say that Man City end their hoodoo, but it's going to be a scrappy way of doing it. I'm going to go 2-1 Man City.
2-1 to Man City. I don't know if either of you saw the North London derby. I mean, they only started playing when they were 2-0 down, and that seems to be the story of their season. They keep giving teams the chance, to go ahead. Brentford 2-2 recently. They went 2-0 ahead. And they just seem to like giving teams, that lead and then coming back. I'm disappointed with Tottenham this season. As you can see there, Tottenham are 11th in the form table. Manchester City are 10th in the form table. But you summed it up, Brad, when you said that this was going to be, who Man City would want to play, given, that they're in recent form. Tottenham have got a habit, though, when you look at their games, lost, won, drawn, lost, won, lost. They can't put a run together. But every time they've lost a game, they do seem to have come back and got something. I'm going to go for Desmond.
I was thinking Chris going to go for Desmond saying this.
Yes, I think I'm going to go for a Desmond. So David's gone Man City 3, Spurs 1. Surely not 3 losses in a row. He's got, this season, anything could happen. Shane's gone 3-1 to Tottenham, to Man City as well. Nippon says, obviously always a conspiracy theory with Nippon. I think Tottenham will throw this game away and prevent Arsenal from winning the league. Man City 2-1 says, Anthony's agreed with me. He's gone for a Desmond as well, as has indeed Andrew. He's gone 2-2 as well. So we then come on to the weekend games. We're actually then ending up on Saturday morning. BT Sport. Let me just bring the first game up here. And it is Liverpool versus Chelsea. There has been over 2.5 goals scored in Liverpool's last 7 games. There have been under 2.5 goals scored in 6 of Chelsea's last 7 Premier League games. As you can see there, of the last 6 games, Chelsea have only won 1 of these. 3 of them have gone to Liverpool, and 2 of them have been draws. The last couple have been 0-0s. Wow. That's a bit concerning. Form-wise, Liverpool sat in 8th, Chelsea in 12th. I mean, neither of these teams, Steve, are having a good season.
No, I think if it was last year, you'd have been back in Liverpool all the way. But I think watching Liverpool, they're not the same Liverpool. Watching Chelsea, he still hasn't found his right formation. I don't think that's his team at the moment. He needs to put his stamp on that. So they're hard to predict. And I think this will be a low-scoring game. I think it'll either be a 0-0 or a 1 each. So I'm gonna go for 1-1.
You're going to go for 1-1. Brad, I've said this a few times. If Klopp was at Chelsea, or possibly another one of the top 6 clubs, he would have been sacked by now on this form. He's had kind of one good season where they won everything. I mean, if they'd been, if they'd been in a who can piss highest up the wall competition that season, they would have won it. Chelsea in their last game scraped a victory. New signings are not going to be playing for another 3 games because he was sent off. Can you see either side of these coming out on top?
I only see one out of the 2 of them if I'm to pick one, because I'm trying to stay away from the dreaded draw, because it'll just be so boring a game to watch, won't it? If it's like 0-0, but I feel like it could be one of them games. But
I mean, Liverpool are winning tonight in the FA Cup away at Wolves.
No. Thanks for that information, Christian. Thanks for reminding me that. Right, Chelsea going to win 2-0, and I want a bonus point if that happens, if Klopp gives an excuse and says he's tired from the FA Cup. If they lose, I guarantee you Chelsea win 2-0, and he'll make an excuse about banning, scrapping replays because his players were tired. We could not do 2 games.
This is the replay, isn't it? So actually, this could go to extra time and penalties. I can't believe that we are actually looking at a 9th versus 10th position game here.
It's the 90s all over again.
Niffin says, "You serious, Brad?" He also said, "El Bantirico." Yeah, okay. Do you know what though? I was quite hoping, I think I said to you, Brad, that Chelsea were going to lose. Was it Palace they played, I think, the other day, didn't they, when they won 1-0? And then we could maybe have got Potter. But I think he's still the wrong manager for them. There's so many rumours that he's not picking the players that they're buying, and he's been interviewed and asked about these players, and he's saying, well, I don't know because I've not bought him. I've got to agree, and I've written it down already. I've agreed with Steve. I've gone 1-1 as well. So let's have a look what everybody's going. I forgot to write Anthony's down for Man City Tottenham. He went 2-2, same as me. Okay, let's have a look. Where are we? Let's catch up. He's gone 1-1 again. Liverpool, Chelsea 1-1.
Jesus. Anthony's got his own personal fence down there.
Liking these draws. Write that one down. Andrew's gone 2-1 to Chelsea. Shane has gone 1-0 to Liverpool. Shane has... hang on. Oh, you're saying it's full... was that full time in the FA?
I think it means in the cup game.
God, is it that time?
Yeah, it's just come up on my thing saying Liverpool 3.
I thought you were going to go 1-0 then, Shane, but he had actually gone here 3-2. Another goal fest predicted there. And David's gone, could be any score, going for a Desmond 2-2. So there we go. And Nissan's gone for a 2-2 as well. So everybody, virtually bar you, Brad, has gone for the draw.
I know, right? Everybody's looking at Desmond for this game.
Yeah. Now, Steve, let's have a look at the next game. We've got Southampton taking on Aston Villa. Villa have won 3 of the 6 meetings, but then so have Southampton. Villa had 11 players booked, so they're a bit of a booking fest on this fixture. 7 goals scored by Southampton, 9 by Villa. On a form basis, Villa are up in 5th. Got a good manager in. He's getting a tune out those players. Look at Southampton, though. I mean, they're in 18th, but they've lost, won. And they beat Man City in the Carabao Cup, which is obviously Pep's, favourite competition. Are they turning it round, Southampton? Nathan Jones didn't immediately get the new manager bounce, but is he now sort of slowly going to change things down on the South Coast?
I don't know, to be honest. I think I cannot read Southampton at all, even with the old manager, the new manager. There's no grey area. I don't think they're either crap or they're good. And it all depends on the day. But I think Villa now, they're starting to play with a bit of steel. So it'll be hard for them. But it's hard to call this one. So I know I'm doing all draws tonight, but I think it should be another draw. And I'm going to go for a 0-0.
A 0-0. Okay, bear with me. So, Villa going 0-0. Brad,
where's this Southampton come from? Southampton look like one of the most uninspiring teams this season. And one of them teams that we started to sort of whisper and talk about as that team that stays around and you kind of just get sick of seeing them a little bit.
Yeah.
And after Ralph and all that, and the way this manager, kept the sinking ship going downwards, it seemed. And then they go and beat Man City, and then they do a job over Frank Lampard, which made me smile, I've got to admit. Not to Everton, everybody knows that. It's just with Frank Lampard. So, yeah, for me, to see them get a result.
Frank for Leicester.
I won't go on this channel if you keep singing that. That's bad. That's bad language and abusive language that should have a 50 rating and not an 18. No, stop it now. But anyway, anyway, I threw myself off there. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't know if he's going to turn a corner, but I feel like they're going to hit a nice little enjoyable bump in the road, and I'm going to go for a little bit of a shock here, I think, given the form book they're in. But I'm going to let Southampton ride them any waiver. I think they're going to nick this one 1-0.
1-0. Okay. Well, like I say, on overall positioning, you can see their Villa are 11th, Southampton 20th. So on the home form for Southampton, they've only won 1 of 9 games, and you can see their home form there isn't particularly brilliant. The away form for Villa, drawn, lost, 1-1. I just think that Ebening is getting it. I think he's a good signing by Villa to go out and get him, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be safe for the whole season. I'm going to go 1-0 as well, but I'm going to go the other way, Brad. I'm going to go 1-0 to Aston Villa and give it a full house of things. So a draw, a 1-0 to Southampton and a 1-0 to Villa. Let's see what everybody else says. Nippon has gone 2-1 to Villa. Ant's gone Brad like Lampard as a player, but not as a manager. He loves him, really. It's just, there's a thin line between hate and love, isn't there, Steve? And I'm just sure that, Brad's quite worked out that yet. I joke, Brad. I love you, really. Southampton 2, Aston Villa 1, says Shane. Nippon says, why do you hate Frank Lampard? We haven't. I mean, that's another 3-hour show there, Nippon, I'll tell you. Is the game on the South Coast or in the Midlands? Whoever's on the left-hand side, Nippon is the team that's home. So a bit of a clue there. Southampton 0, Villa 2, says Anthony. Ooh, okay. And David's gone 2-1 to Villa. Not a thriller, a 2-1 Villa win, says David. And Andrew's gone a big ball draw. Right, so let's have a look who is next up. Which is a completely different order to everything I've got them written down in. This, though, Steve, wow. This could be Osakio, couldn't it? I mean, you could see both managers going if it's a sort of a 0-0 or something like that. But surely, I mean, I know Jake from West Ham Unofficial actually did a show the other day because he thought Moyes had actually been sacked because there was a lot of rumours going around. They want him out at West Ham. My worry is if they do get him out, that they might get somebody that we want, and we're going to be stuck with Brendan. But this is the biggest game for both these teams this season, isn't it?
Yep. Looking at the reports on social media and that, and what happened to the Everton players after the last game, could be a big factor. It could be either they throw the dummy at the pram and say, "Sod the fans, we'll just won't bother," or they might say, "Yeah, fans are right," and step it up. But I think from Moyes' point of view, they're at home. They need the points. It'll be hard. I think Everton will play like they stubbornly do till West Ham score, and then after that, you can't see Everton scoring. So I'm going to go for 1-0 West Ham.
Do 1-0 to West Ham. I mean, Brad, you look at it there: 3 wins out of 6 for West Ham, 5 for Everton. But just look at the standings there. 18th playing 19th. Not one win between them in the last 12 games. 6 each. He's got 0-0. Last on match of the day written all over it, hasn't it?
Yeah, you're fucking right, and that's why I'm going for it. 0-0. This is going to be terrible. I'm sorry, Everton and West Ham fans. I am. This is going to be terrible. This is going to be painful to watch. And it's only going to be through the sheer ineptability of your guys to finish, your attacking players to finish the dinner, let alone finish a chance. That it's going to stay 0-0. This will be very few chances. There'll be glorious opportunities missed. But yeah, no goals.
Yeah. I am agreeing 100% with you this time, Brad. I had it down as a 0-0. Even the current form only slightly better than Leicester in the last 4 games post World Cup. Everton are officially, although on the form over the season, they are officially the worst team. I don't know how it's all worked out and what have you, but I did do a show the other day and they said officially they are the worst team. I think they're going down this season. We're going to be talking more about that on Friday when we do the mid-season review, of course. But no, I'm agreeing with you. This is 0-0, and I think both managers are going to be having a sleepless night this Saturday. David, though, has gone a snooze win to Everton there, 1-0. Shane has gone 1-0 to West Ham. David says, I heard David Moyes is staying as of now. Of course, David, I always forget West Ham, mate. West Ham fan. And you've gone for an Everton win and you're a West Ham fan. Wow. Things that bad. Brad, would you take David Moyes if he was sacked?
Not really, no.
No. Okay.
There's a reason he gets the bottom end jobs, mate, I'm afraid. He does one surprise season with Everton. I think when he got them into Europe, he's done it with West Ham, and then he took them straight back to struggling, which is what West Ham thought they were out of, and he's proven that. So no, not for me.
No, I agree. He has taken them back there. I'm just thinking, isn't this going to be West Brom 4, Steve, Chesterfield 0 in the region.
Boring bastards. What?
They've got a new manager, though, haven't they? They've got rid of Steve.
Oh
Bruce.
yeah, they got rid of Mr. They got rid of Mr. fucking 35 boy clubs, didn't they? They sacked Steve Bruce.
Yeah, I'm just thinking how embarrassing this will be if actually Ant gets more points than any of us and tops it this week. Oh God, I won't speak to him again if he does that. Right, so Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Steve. Saturday 3:00 kickoff. Forest have only won 1 of 6 of the last ones, 4 of 6 to Bournemouth. Obviously, most of these were, in fact, apart from the last one where Bournemouth won 3-2. And Forest was struggling at the start of the season. I think that was a bit of naivety because Bournemouth had been in the Premier League before and, Forest let the lead slip. But most of these games, like I say, were obviously in the lower divisions. Forest sat in 13th, won 3 of the last 6 there. Bournemouth started badly with old Scott Parker in charge, got rid of him after the 9-0 hammering. The new guy came in, did well, got the job, and they're sliding down the table. Pains me to say it, but I am going here for personally a 2-0 Forest win. What about yourself, Steve?
I was going to say exactly the same, mate. I think Forest were playing the same way that Newcastle were when Eddie Howe first took over, and they were struggling. I think they're going to have a little mini run now. They're not going to go right the way up the table, but I think they're going to start beating the teams around them or picking up points around them. So I think they'll climb up 2 or 3 places. And there again, it's a confidence thing. They're finding, a bit of form. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win as well.
Full house, Brad?
No, I refuse to do it again. I'm not doing it. I'm bitter. I'm just going to admit it. I'm bitter now because it's not. I can't even have a laugh at Forest being below us anymore. So just put me down for a Bournemouth 2-0 win, please, and just leave it there. I'm not.
Every week, Brad, you are slowly turning into Steve Lynex.
I am. I'm using it on the smarter teams to turn into Steve Lynex. Unfortunately for Steve, he's got a grudge against Arsenal and they keep winning games when he doesn't want them to.
I am resisting this, but you've been pulled under his spell, Brad. Brad, wait for me if you need help, and I'll call 999. Just wait. Forest are 9th in the form table. Bournemouth are in 17th. I mean, they weren't brilliant. I mean, they beat us, but to be honest with you, even the Leicester ladies could beat us at the week if they played at the weekend because they won. I just think Bournemouth are just. Yeah, I can see them going down, to be honest with you. Shane has gone 2-0 to Forest. Anthony's gone 2-1 to Forest. David's he's going back. So we've only got the 2 predictions for that game. So Anthony's gone 2-1. Shane has gone 2-0. Both of those to Forest. Oh, David's come in at the end. 2-0 to Forest as well. He agrees with us too, Steve. I don't really want to talk about this. I really don't want to talk about this.
No, we're only doing 9 this week. You said we're going to tell Steve we can save ourselves some misery. He says we're going to do this game. You promised, Chris. Don't go back on your word now.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
We'll jump this game. Nobody will notice. This, I've got to be honest with you. This is going to be embarrassing. And I mean, we got embarrassed at their place earlier in the season, didn't we? We've won 3 of the last 6, though. They've won 2 of the last 6 with the 1 draw. 5-2 last time. And I know it was the start of the season and we were losing, well, like now to everybody, but badly losing. We were leaking goals. But, FaZe came in. He's now looking a little bit, like his confidence has gone. What he could really do with, and a lot of the players could really do with, is if only we knew a manager that was known as being a good man manager. If only we had somebody like that. But, it is what it is. Brighton are in 7th, could end up in Europe this season. Leicester in 14th, but I mean 2 points off the bottom. If results go against us, we could be in the relegation zone again. I'm living in the hope that that we sack him before we get to Brighton, Steve. I don't think we will.
Well, I'm taking a lot of blame for this because, like, I've been back in Leicester for the last few games, and I think I'm going to have to go back to the old reverse psychology, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 Brighton win, and then Leicester will win there.
Honestly,
Very
mate,
well played, Steve.
if we win now, I'm literally going to come up to the West Midlands and kiss him on the head. Steve's back. Yes, all we need him to do now is hate Arsenal again.
It only took a disastrous season to break him back into his old habits.
Yes. We'll see when we come to the Arsenal game. Brad, I mean, it's embarrassing at the moment, isn't it? I mean, let's just have a look at this. In the form table, well, you saw it earlier, and to be honest with you, I mean, on this one, it says that we are actually 14th, but 2 of those games were before the World Cup, so I don't even actually count those, if I'm honest with you. Brighton, their last 4 won, lost 1-1. Potter moves on, the magic continues.
It would just be so funny and so just in a way, I feel, for Brighton and their fans if the season ended with them finishing ahead of Chelsea. And I'm trying to be nice in the hope that they don't destroy us the way I feel like we're going to get destroyed. Because normally when it comes to Leicester, I'm stuck between my heart and my head to kind of back Leicester, especially with how things have been these days. But my head says about 6-0 Brighton. My heart says only about 3-0 Brighton. But I don't want to tempt fate. I don't want to jinx Steve's reverse psychology here. So I can't go for what my head and heart says. So I'm going to have to lie through my teeth and say I feel like Leicester can win this game 3-0 and just hope that works. Steve goes to that way. I'll go that way. We keep on track. You pick a Leicester win, Chris, and everything goes back to normal.
Bugger off. I need the points. When I look at some of the ex-footballers, they sort of like, well, everybody actually backs Leicester except Ian Marshall, and he always decides, he always goes and gets it right normally. So I'm going to have to start doing what he does. But on home form, Leicester from the last 6, we've won 2, but we all know where that was pre-World Cup. Brighton on their away form. Played 6, won 3, drawn 1. Scored 14 goals, but they have conceded 12. But then again, can you see Leicester scoring? Because I can't. Barnes has got. I mean, you're right. It was unlucky twice. I actually ended up. I've seen his attempts. Because of course my link went down when I was doing the watch along. But. I can't go for a Leicester win. I want to, but I can't because we're shit. There's no, I can't. I'm not going to say that I want us to lose because I hope that will get Brendan the sack. I never want us to lose, but I just don't think we can win. Go
mad, Chris. Go 3-3.
I'm going to make a note of that. If it is 3-3, can we score? That's the question.
Not right now. I'm hoping.
I mean, I tell you what, I'm going to have a bit of faith. I'm going to go 1-1. Purely because I can't go against Leicester as much as I think that Brighton will stuff us. But Geordie's in. Good evening, Jordan. Geordie, how are you? Welcome along, mate. Nippon, what? I don't know what you're smoking, mate, but can I have some? Leicester 5, Brighton 2. A reverse from earlier in the season. bloody hell, that London air, Jesus. He also went Forest 2, Cherries 0. Brighton run is coming to an end, 3-2 Leicester. Please don't let Anthony go for Leicester because he was the only one that went for Leicester against Forest. We'll come to that later, Nippon. Leicester 0, Brighton 5, Shane. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us would be surprised, would we?
No, sadly.
And he's gone 1-3 as Ant. Yes! He was like, he did do what you did, Steve. Predicted Leicester and we lost. Yeah, nobody's got a lot of hope there for. Geordie's gone Leicester 1, Brighton 0. It's lovely the fact that everybody here thinks that everybody who's not a Leicester fan thinks we can beat Brighton, but as Leicester fans don't think we can.
Because we know better. We know better.
Charles is in. Good afternoon, Charles. How are you? She's obviously gone, or he. I do apologise. I'm presuming there. Charles gone 3-1 to Brighton, and looking at obviously the badge that you're displaying there, I'm not surprised. And to be honest with you, I don't blame you either. So fair point, Charles. Fair point.
I think it's generous that he's given us a goal.
I think I think very, very generous. Can I ask everybody that's in the chat, 21 of you in there, if you are new, can you please subscribe to the channel? It would be much appreciated. And if you are subscribed, please smash the like button as well. That also helps the channel. Now then, I've got to say this. A few weeks ago, I thought, do you know what? I'm sort of sat at home during the day thinking, what can I do? And I thought, I know, I'm going to do some new graphics. And I went through and I made some goal graphics for every player in the squad in case they score. And you know what? Since I did that, we've not scored a goal. So I got to say, I apologise, guys. I think it might be me. I might be the reason we're not scoring. Because I did those and I haven't had a chance to use them yet. So, next game. Moving on very quickly. I think I might do a watch along for Bournemouth Forest rather than Leicester Brighton at the weekend. Palace Newcastle. We were talking Palace earlier, weren't we? Mid-season, as always, for them by the look of it. Newcastle, I actually predicted, because I was on Jack's show earlier, like I said, and we had to predict our top 6 and our bottom 3. I actually predicted Newcastle to come second, the way that things are going for the Manchester clubs. Which way can you see this going, Steve? Only one way, surely.
Yep, I like Newcastle. I like the look of Newcastle. This Newcastle team looks hungry, and I think that's the main thing. Is they don't go to any ground now going for draws. I think the style of play, they want to win every game, and I think that's showing because of the season they're having. They're very enjoyable to watch. So I think Newcastle is 2-0.
2-0 to Newcastle. It's a bit unfair to look too much at those stats, Brad, because as you look at it, I mean, Newcastle from the new manager was just a different team, weren't they? You know what I mean? He's come in and he's taken players. I mean, I don't know if Geordie will agree with this, but the one I've heard some Newcastle fans talk about, Sean Longstaff, who was absolutely awful, apparently. And I don't know, it's only what I've heard. Obviously, I don't know Newcastle that well. And apparently, Eddie Howe's turned him into a brilliant player. But on form, on form as it is, Newcastle won 4 of their last 6 and drawn the other 2. Palace have won 2 and lost 4. On home form, Palace played 6, won 3. On away form, Newcastle are second in the division on away form. Again, can you see Palace winning?
No, I can't. Newcastle are impressive. Whether you like how it's come about for Newcastle or not is neither here nor there. You have to be impressed with the job Eddie Howe's done. It's amazing what you do when you are positive about your players and try to get the best out of them, and how it works for you and pays instant dividends. It's almost like a team won a league with that mentality, with players that weren't considered good enough. But anyway, but yeah, I can't see Crystal Palace getting out of this one. This would probably normally be a close encounter over the last few seasons, for the way these two teams have been used to football until recently. And I think Newcastle are going to win this 3-0.
3-0. Well, I had just written mine down before you said that, because, yeah, like you say, a lot of the games, like the nil-nils, 1-0s and 2-1s, but it is a different Newcastle we're looking at now, and I've gone 3-0 Newcastle as well. So I agreed with you, Brad.
It's not often.
Geordie says Bruce wouldn't even talk to the Longstaff brothers at training, and Sean came back from an injury, and Howe always liked Sean's work rate. He's definitely improved him. It's funny that, isn't it, when you get a good manager that comes in and actually improves the players that you've already got. I wonder what team could do with one of those. 1-0 to Newcastle, says David. Char says, let me know which way you are, Char, please. I don't want to sort of upset you. 2-0 to Newcastle. Newcastle are just without a doubt an incredible side. Yes, they are. Everybody says about, Sean Dyche and look at how he played with, Burnley, and he wouldn't do good at with money in a top side. And yet look at Eddie Howe. He's gone from Bournemouth, mid-table if they were lucky, but he's really running with it at Newcastle. 3-1, says Shane. Anthony's gone 4-2. Another goal fest there for the big ant. Palace 1, Newcastle 2. So I think nobody's giving Crystal Palace any hope at all. And even Nippen here, he's gone one better. 5-3 to Newcastle. Good God.
Nippen's gave him some early rugby scores over here.
I tell you, mate. I tell you, whatever you're smoking or drinking, stop it, Nippen. You'll only regret it in the morning. And Char is Charlie. So good evening and welcome along to the channel, Charlie. Nice to have you with us. So that's the Saturday games. Palace Newcastle, of course, will be on Sky 5:30 on the Saturday. Leeds Brentford, which is on the telly on the Sunday. It's the 2:00 kickoff. Leeds have won 2 of the last 6, same as Brentford, and they've drawn 2 out of 6 as well. Brentford sat in 8th, Leeds in 15th. It's all gone wrong for Leeds, hasn't it? It was going well for a while, but I can't see Leeds getting anything from this. I've got them slipping into the relegation zone by the end of the season.
I'm going to go opposite, mate. I'm going to think. I think they're going to burst Brentford's bubble.
Wow.
I don't think they're going to, go on a massive run, but they're going to pick a game up here and there, and I think they'll be up for it because it's Brentford and the way Brentford are playing. They need to be firing on all cylinders, which I think they will. So I can see them winning 2-1.
2-1. Wow. Can I just say it's finished, and it finished Wigan 1, Luton 2.
Oh, wow.
I wonder where Colo learned to go ahead and then throw it away. Don't know where he might have picked those tactics up from.
Did Forest Green hold on against Birmingham?
No, Birmingham won 2-1.
Oh, boring.
Yes. So Leeds are going to get a win there, which won't do Leicester any favours. Can you see that happening, Brad? No, I can't. No, it's Leeds. The fucking manager's shit. It's just no. Say what you mean, Brad. Don't hold back.
Oh, well, when you put it like that, definitely not. Definitely not.
Oh,
no,
behave.
Never. But no, Brentford. A lot of people may have looked at Brentford and predicted them to either shockingly go down or just about stay up and maybe gone that they're going to get second season syndrome. But they're proving everybody wrong. There's only, there's probably not many people that would have bet on that unless and name's Ivan Toney, allegedly. But no, they're doing very well, and I, for one, hope it continues. And I'm going to go for a nice, comfortable 2-0 Brentford win.
2-0 to Brentford. Well, so you've gone 2-0 to Brentford. Steve went 2-1 to lead.
I don't believe it.
No, I don't, Steve. I'm sorry, mate. Let's have a look at this one. I mean, I just don't know. I said the wheels have come off. I thought. However, it was the bookies' favourites to get sacked, wasn't he, Jesse Marsh? And then he beat Liverpool, went on a bit of a run. Form-wise, Brentford. I mean, they've won 1 in 6. That was sort of 6 games ago. At home, Leeds have only won 1, drawn 2. Away, Brentford have won 2, drawn 2, lost 2. I've got to agree with you, really, Brad. But you know what? I'm going to go 2-0 as well. I was going to go 3, but I think you're right with 2-0 there. Anthony's gone 3-2 to the Mighty Bees. Bristol City beat Birmingham 4-2 on Saturday. Bloody hell. But Birmingham are bad, aren't they? Leeds 2, Brentford 1, says Geordie. Wow, okay. Sorry, tomorrow Palace play Man United, which won't help them very much. Leeds 1, Brentford 2, says Shane. Charlie says, I can only see this going one way, and that's 2-0 to Brentford, agreeing with us. I say Anthony's gone 3-2 to Brentford. So we are down to the other 2 o'clock game on Sunday that isn't on TV. Man City Wolves. Man City, of course, faced Tottenham midweek. The last 6 games, Manchester City have won 5 of them, scoring 18 goals. Wolves have managed to win 1, but it is going right back to 2019. As you can see there, Manchester City sitting in 2nd, Wolves sitting in 16th. You know, the last 4 games since the World Cup, they've won, lost, drawn, won. So they are improving, Steve, but surely this is a step too far for them.
Well, what I've seen tonight against Liverpool, most of them, I think they were shocking. I can't see them scoring from anywhere. If they do, it's going to be a 1-0. But no, I can't see anything. But I can see a high-scoring game here for Man City, and I think it's going to be 4-0.
Wow. Okay, 4-0. All to Haaland?
No, I think you're going to see some different goal scorers in this game.
Talking of ex-Manchester City goal scorers, I believe Sterling might be up for sale from Chelsea. That lasted well, didn't it?
Wow, already. Bloody hell.
Brad, I've put my score in, which I'm a little bit worried about because I've just seen it's the same as Anthony's. Which way are you going to go?
I mean, Steve's pretty much hit the nail on the head. There is that slight feeling that Wolves could just come up to this game and nick it 1-0 because they've suddenly found a bit of form themselves. 1 defeat in the last 4 games shows they found some form that they looked a million miles off themselves.
Well, look at the form table there. I mean, they're only 3 places behind Man City.
Yeah. The thing is, it's one of them where you kind of this is what you call your safe bet, don't you? This is why you're not expecting to let you down if you're doing it. Yeah. And I'm just going to say that Man City I don't think they'll cruise it 4-0, but I think they should win this, and I'm going 2-0 to Man City.
You're going 2-0 to Man City. Right. Yeah, it's one of those, when we played the long ball and you had to pick one that was like a banker and you got extra points. That feels like this. This feels like maybe I should have introduced that at the start of the season that we had a banker game. But I do feel like this is it. I've gone 3-0 to Man City. I can't see anything other. And especially if Spurs do manage to get something off them or Thursday night. But 2 home games. I was going to say they have the crowd behind them, but because of what crowd, isn't it? But I've gone 3-0. Charlie has gone 4-1 to City. I think City will dominate. I think you're quite right, Charlie. Manchester City 2, Wolves 1, says Shane. Anthony's gone 3-0, like I say, Man City. And Anthony says, I'm top on Dan's prediction show, not being smug, mate. If you go onto Dan's prediction show and you're not above him, there's something wrong with you. Man City 4, Wolves 1, says Geordie. Wow, some high scoring games there. Charlie, just to say, by the way, mate, on Thursday at 9 o'clock, we are doing the match preview for Brighton versus Leicester at the King Power, where we will have a Brighton fan on there. So tune in for that. Right, the last game.
Yeah. Can I just say that I think I've had a lot of banker results this year. I think it's banker, you said.
Oh, nice one. That's getting clipped. Let me make a note of the time. 1:16. Dear. I don't know. Hang on. I've got a present for you here, Steve. Don't ask why I've got those next to the computer.
I've got a toilet roll down here, but I'm not going to tell you about
that. Nice one, Charlie. Nice one, mate. Right, so Arsenal, Man United. Once again, it's the last game. Once again, it's on telly. Once again, it's Sunday at 4:30. In the last 6 games, Arsenal have won 3. Manchester United have won 2, scoring 9 goals. Arsenal, United 7. But look at those cards. 12 yellows for Arsenal, 14 yellow for Man United. I think that's a bet you would take. And we always say, don't, when the fun stops, children, when it comes to betting. But I mean, looking at that, I think the obvious thing is that, there's going to be a yellow card, Steve.
Yeah, I can see somebody going as well, the way they are. But I think this has got a Desmond all over it. I think the 2 teams are going to go for it. So, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
You're going to go for a 2-2. Okay. Brad?
It's funny Steve says that because just like I did, I think, with the first game, the last game, I'm completely agreeing with him. I hadn't said Desmond. I hadn't predicted Desmond all the way through, but these teams, begrudgingly or not, they're playing good football. Arsenal are clear at the top right now. Man United have a great run of form. They've just stumbled Man City's season a bit more. And now Man City are looking at Manchester United to do them some form of favour. And I can't pick between them. So, I think it'd be high scoring. I'm going to predict the one and only Desmond for the weekend.
Right. Well, let's have a look at the form. Actually, we do know. Oops, that's Brentford. We've done that one. We do know that Manchester City aren't in the best. I'm not doing Manchester City. It's giving me the wrong game. Here we go. Arsenal, Manchester United. We do know. Arsenal are top of the form table, but Manchester United are second. Literally, in the last 6, they've lost 1. Have Manchester United. Arsenal have drawn 1. Bless you. Although that's usually that's your thing to say, isn't it? At home, Arsenal won 5, drawn 1, haven't lost yet in the last 6. Away, United have won 3, drawn 1, but they are going so well. And I don't think this has ever happened before, guys. I'm agreeing with you too as well. I'm going for a Desmond. And we've got a full house of 2-2s.
Wow, that's for a different show discussion. But that's definitely never happened before. All of us going for the same draw.
Yeah, and of course, I mean that is when we do our show on ballet, there'll be plenty of 2-2 in that, won't there?
Starring.
Hey, come on. It's been a long time coming, but the first joke of the show there, David, go. Thanks a lot, David. Cheers for popping in, buddy. Shane has gone 3-3, game of the season. Anthony's gone Arsenal 2, Man United 2. VAR to balls up this game too. Ooh, bitter, Anthony. David has gone City. United 1, Arsenal 1, and he's gone for a draw. Just edging out Man United. Charlie's gone for a 3-2 to Arsenal. And Geordie has gone 3-1 to Arsenal. I think this could. I mean, let's say Manchester City don't get the results they want against Tottenham, I think they'll get Wolves. But I think if Tottenham beat them and Arsenal beat Man United, I think it's Arsenal's title, isn't it, Steve?
I think so. The way things are going, with all the teams dropping the points, I'd like to say that Newcastle's going to give them a run. But I hate to say, but I can't. It's one of them seasons where the former team, like Man City, like Liverpool, Arsenal are in the seat now, and it's theirs to lose. That's what I say. If they do lose it, it's going to be their own fault.
Right, and there is a game on the. I'm just trying to tag it up. It won't show me, but there is a game, gentlemen, on the Monday, which is Fulham hosting Spurs, 8:00 on the Monday night. Obviously, Sky live from Craven Cottage. Don't know why that one's not coming up, but let me just go through this. Spurs obviously in 5th, Fulham in 6th, so it's a real London derby, this one. In the last meetings, Tottenham have won them both 2-1 and 1-0. I think they had to come back from 1-0 down against Fulham to get that one. Fulham's results, lost to Newcastle, beat Chelsea, beat some East Midlands team, beat Southampton and beat Crystal Palace. Spurs lost to Arsenal, beat Crystal Palace, lost to Villa, drew with Brentford and beat Leeds 4-3 after from behind. Which way do you see this last game going, Steve?
3-1 Fulham.
Hey, we've got him back. We've definitely 100% got. Not only has he gone for the reverse psychology with Leicester, he's just gone straight for the kicking Tottenham between the legs. And why not? Why not? So, sorry, did you say 3-1 to Fulham?
3-1, yeah. Kane's going to get a boxy goal and too late.
Kane will get a boxy goal. What a shame that Haaland's here and he won't get the golden boot again, eh?
Yeah, good.
Brad?
Well, I actually think Steve's being nice because I actually had this because I'm going one less for Spurs. I'm knocking their goal off. I don't even think they're going to score. I think Fulham are going to win this 3-0.
Oof.
I think you're being nice, Steve. You're being too nice of them.
It's just Kane, though. He always gets a boxy goal, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he does. It's funny, isn't it? When he gets that poxy goal for England, I love it. When he gets it for Spurs, it doesn't matter who they're playing. He just winds me up. I don't know. Right, I'm going to be different. I am going to go. I'm going to go 2-1, but to Tottenham.
Never liked you anyway, Chris.
Sorry?
What? I didn't say never liked you anyway. Didn't say anything.
I think you ought to press one of your jingles.
I mean, that'll come in.
All right, then. Let me find this. There we go, then.
I don't know, it's so difficult not to look smug at this point.
I don't think that's the one you mean, is it?
No.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
Oh, Bugs there agrees with you. I know. I've gone for a Forest win and a Tottenham win, all in the same show. But what did Anthony go for on the last one? Let's just get the last few comments in. Geordie's gone 2-0 to Fulham. Kane will probably get a pen, says Charlie. Quite right. I think he could do. Another Desmond, says Shane. Anthony's gone 2-1 to Fulham. So I'm on my own, son. Nobody's agreeing with me that Tottenham are going to get something from this. And 2-1 to Fulham, says Charlie. Anthony, quick question for you here, Steve, before you go. Who was your favourite player at Leicester and why? I presume he means when you were there, I'm guessing.
When I went, oh God, that's a hard one to be honest, because there was quite a few. I think Andy Peake. Andy Peake was a cracking. And,
I think he was underestimated, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. And like you say, he'd got a great right foot. There's a lot, but I think Andy Peake was, like you say, one of the unsung heroes, and he was a cracking player, cracking midfield player.
Do you remember him, Brad?
Nope.
Okay.
I can't profess that. I'm sorry.
I mean, to me, I agree with you there. Like I say, he was to me was an unsung hero. I think very much the Andy King of his day. Would you say?
I think so. Yeah, but there was, there was a lot of characters in different ways. You had Youngby, who was a leader. You had Lineker, scoring the goals. Alan Smith scoring the goals. Mark Wallington in goal. You can go through quite a few. Kevin McDonald. But like you say, you could put Ian Wilson close to Andy Peake because they were the midfield maestros, and they didn't get as enough recognition as they should have got.
Yeah. Steve, thank you so very much. This is going to be an interesting one. We'll see how this one goes. I will see you next week, sir, and good luck. And don't forget, guys, keep a lookout. You'll hear it here. First, hopefully, about Steve's range of clothing, Foxy 7. Got it for the ladies, so if there's any Arsenal fans watching, yeah, we're not forgetting you. It'll be coming out and we'll be telling you all about it once they go on sale. Steve, mate, thank you so much, as always, for giving up your time and coming on. Really do appreciate it, and take care, mate.
Yeah, I should hit 100 points this week.
Hang on, now that gets a comment.
You are the weakest link about.
Goodbye, Steve. All the best, mate.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah, see you guys.
Cheers. Bye bye. Oh, thanks to Steve there. Oh, great laugh. I've forgotten I'd got that one actually. That was handy. Oh, come on. I'm 5 points behind you, Brad. I'm closing in on you. You can feel me breath on your neck. Well,
yeah, it's all Anthony's. It's all Anthony's fault.
Yes. Hey, come on, he got you the best points that you've ever got in a week.
Yeah, I'd got 60.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll see, won't we? Because Anthony's put his votes in as well.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's gone to his head a little bit. Some of his scores were a little bit eccentric there, I think, with his 3-2s and his... Well, Nippon was a bit like that.
Brad's Daily, he's been a Leicester fan for 6 years, 3 months, 1 week, 2 days, and 13 minutes, 4 seconds.
Cheeky get.
Oh, I think he wants an Arsenal daily, doesn't he? I think he's asking for an
I
Arsenal
think
daily.
he is, Chris. Suddenly, I think he is.
Problem is, I don't have it handy. I don't think. He says, "Let me just have a look because we might not be able to do it for much longer."
I've heard it's been so long that it now just gets registered as an error code on Google.
Well, if you do search the Emirates Stadium on Google, they have got a time capsule buried there, and I believe that has got their last cup in. Whether that's true or not, obviously, it might just be a rumor. Who knows? I don't think I'm going to have this handy. No, I thought I'd got it handy, but I haven't. It was getting boring, wasn't it? All with the Arsenal, it was just growing every week and every show. Oh, it's a shame. I must find it. I must find it sometime. Anyway, sir, you're back tomorrow night on your channel. Tell us where they can find you, what you're doing.
Yeah, doing top 10 battles.
Oh, you've gone very quiet, muffled, mate.
Is that better?
Better. That's better.
Yeah, I'm doing the top 10 battles. It's the first one of season 2. The topic choice is movies. It will be comedy movies starting off. It'll be my 2 usual co-hosts with me, Dan, the Burnley fan from Turf Moorhouse TV. I'm sure you know him on here. Chris's adopted son. And the man who's setting down the marker with me in the comments, Anthony. They'll be taking each other on, giving me their top 10 all-time comedy movies. If I can remember what I've organised, that would help, wouldn't it? So if you want to join in with that, give me your top 10s. Come check it out tomorrow.
Okay, and we'll finish just about with this. The Daily Trophy. Arsenal fans, it's been 18 years, 247 days, 5 hours, 51 minutes and 22 seconds since you last won the Premier League. My kids are almost as old as that. Brad, thanks very much, mate. I will see you on Friday when we'll be doing the mid-season review.
I'll see you Friday, mate.
Take care. Thanks very much. I'd say good luck with this, but of course I wouldn't mean it.
That's very true. Same to you too, mate.
Take care, buddy. Thanks very much.
Take care, mate.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thanks to Brad there. His link, as always, is in the description below on YouTube. What have we got coming up next, I hear you say? What have we got coming up next, Chris? Well, funny you should ask.
Coming up next on Leicester Till I Die TV.
It's a new show for Wednesdays at 9 o'clock. Myself and Dave /Harry are going to be bringing you this every other Wednesday, possibly. And it's called Memory Lane, and we're some of the bad times under Leicester City and asking, is this really the worst of times for Leicester? Pleat, Taylor, McClintock. Unfortunately, I'm scarred for life because I remember them, and so does Dave. Too bloody long for me. You're going to win it this season, mate. You're going to win it this season, I'm sure. If you don't, well, you'll be doing a Tottenham, won't you? Thanks so much, guys. Thanks to everybody that's been watching. Thanks also to everybody who's been listening on the podcast. Over 42,000 downloads last year on the podcast. Still can't get my head around that. Will Leicester make a signing in the next 2 weeks? It's unlikely. Good night.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You'd better like them too, or I'll be back.
Leicester Till I Die TV. They think it's all over.